Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christy and I am so excited because today, before this video starts, I have the biggest announcement in the whole wide world and I'm so excited to share. Kelly and we are doing a live show in Pittsburgh, September 26th. Kelly and I are recording Back to the Bar live at 8 o'clock in Oakland. There are tickets available in my description box. I will drop the link there. We are going to record an episode of Back to the Bar live. We're going to play games with the audience. We are doing a Q&A with the audience. If you're a VIP or an ultra VIP, you get to take photos with us. We're having a cocktail party. It is going to be the best girls' night out in Pittsburgh, and I cannot wait for you guys to come. So make sure you check out the link down below in the description box, and I hope to see you on September 26th. Okay, so I thought for today's video, it would be kind of fun if I went back and I shared some never before talked about secrets from dance moms. I have been doing this series on my TikTok, which is right here, for a very long time. Everybody loves it, so I thought it was kind of fun if I took some of my most asked questions, my most popular videos, and I brought them over here and put them all in one neat package so you could sit back, relax, and watch and get all the answers to your favorite comfort show. Okay, I just have to say, for anyone who calls Dance Moms a comfort show, I have questions, okay? What about Dance Moms could ever be considered comforting? I'm not sure. Although, I will say this. If my pain has somehow turned into your entertainment, then maybe it was worth it. I don't know, because certainly what I went through for the reward at the time, not worth it. So we're gonna get into some secrets because I know that's why everyone is here. Let's get into it. Number one, how did the girls do homework? That seems like such an obvious question because the girls were all very obviously school age. So they had homework, but yet they were dancing all the time. You were always seeing them in the studio, practicing, rehearsing, traveling, going to competitions every weekend. And I will tell you a little secret. We being the moms, kept all of our girls in regular school until at least, I think Melissa might have pulled her girls maybe in season 2, I want to say. Kelly and I kept Chloe, Brooke, and Paige in regular school, I'm speaking for us now, throughout the entire duration of Dance Moms. The only time Chloe didn't go to regular school when she was on Dance Moms was when we went back in season 7, and she was in high school by that time. And I think she was cybered at that point. So, but during the filming of the show, she went to regular school. So this is kind of what the girls' regular day looked like if they were in school. So Chloe would wake up for school, probably I want to say around 7. She'd have breakfast, get ready for school. She didn't ride a bus because of just the way she went to a private school. I would drop her off at school, probably I want to say around 9. This is elementary school. Yeah, 9. Then I would pick her up after school. I believe school ended about 3 o'clock. We always had to be at the studio for our call time at 4. So she would change in the car, eat in the car, and start her homework in the car on the way to the studio. When we got to the studio, moms were being mic'd. The girls would often have about 15 minutes to work on homework while moms were being mic'd and while we were getting our producer notes. And then we would all get in our cars and we'd have to drive into the studio, pretending like we were coming in one at a time. We were all together just a few minutes ago down at the doctor's office. We would walk in, we would film whatever the top of the show was. So if it was pyramid, we would do that. If it was rehearsal, we would do that. Every night during the week, so during the school week, we would start at 4 and we would end around 10. The girls would have a break. Everyone would have a lunch break. That was usually around, I want to say maybe 8. No, it was I think 7:30. Anyway, so during that hour-long break, you could eat dinner, which, basic human need. You could go see the tutor because you had homework to do, or you could take a dance class. Well, as you can imagine, a certain teacher always wanted them to just go take a dance class, but the kids were hungry and they had homework to do. So sometimes when you would see them get in trouble for something on camera and you're like, what did they just get in trouble for? What did they do? a lot of times it was because they chose to go eat dinner or do homework instead of taking a dance class. And then we would come back and film. So then we would wrap at 10. Now, mind you, Chloe's younger at this point, so she didn't have a ton. Brooke had a ton. But if there was still homework to be done, Chloe would do it in the car on the way home. She would get home, she would take a shower, and she would be in bed by 11, I want to say, which is insane for an elementary age child to be in bed at 11, waking up at 7. I know that. I don't want to hear anybody coming for me that I'm her mom. I could have taken out of the environment. I am telling you, I know that's crazy. So those girls had basically like 2 full-time jobs during Dance Moms. Like school was a full-time job, and then they had a full-time job being on Dance Moms. So when did they do school? They also did school on the bus with the tutor. We had a tutor that was on set after season, I think they finally got us a tutor, maybe in season 2. So then the tutor would be on the bus with the girls and they would work on their homework then as well. So there is a little Dance Mom secret for you. Another Dance Mom secret that everyone wants to know is, what did we do after competitions? 99.99999% of the time, at least while I was on the show. I know when they moved to LA, it was different. We would have to travel to the competition on Friday, do the competition on Saturday, and then travel home on Sunday. So on Saturdays, we would film the competition portion of the show, which, is the part everybody loves. And then we would wrap. Once we wrapped, we would all get into that stupid white kidnapper van, and they would take us back to the hotel. I want to be very clear. Very rarely did we stay in a nice hotel. I have very distinct memories of staying in motels where there weren't even indoor doors. Like, our doors were on the outside, which doesn't make a bunch of moms and little kids feel very warm and fuzzy at night. But then we did step up. We were staying more at like a Courtyard Marriott type place. So every once in a while, if we were in a big city, we did stay in like a bigger, nicer hotel. So what did we do after competition? Well, normally what would happen is the moms always went to dinner on a Friday night. That was kind of our tradition. When we arrived on the bus, moms would always get together and go to dinner. No matter how mad we were at each other, we always went to dinner on Friday nights. Sometimes the kids would go with us. Other times the kids would stay back at the hotel because they were practicing their solos, duos, trios, groups, whatever. If the kids stayed back at the hotel, we would either get them food and bring it to them before we left, or we would bring them food home after dinner, depending on the time. Saturdays after the competition, sometimes the moms would go to dinner. If we were at a cool place, we would sometimes try, depending on how early we wrapped, to take the girls to see something cool. I remember taking them to like a candy factory once, not like the name brand candy factory, but like a local candy. I don't even think it was a candy factory, honestly. I think it was like a candy shop that we were just like, it's a candy factory, that you guys, this is exciting. Kids never got to do exciting things when we were filming. And then when we would go back to the hotel, the girls would usually all go in one room and they would do silly things like make video stars, or they would play spa, where they would sit in a line and give each other massages. And the moms, well, honestly, I only know what Kelly and I did. Kelly and I would get a bottle of wine and we would go to one room and we would hang out and we would complain about everything that had happened that day. Fun story. Oftentimes, like Chloe, Paige, and Brooke would end up having a sleepover on Saturday nights in like one of the rooms. And then so Kelly and I would end up having a sleepover in the other room. So like 3 of them would go in my room, I'd go in Kelly's room. And Chloe and Paige used to turn the heat up as high as it would go before they left the room. And they would be like giggling and we didn't know what they were doing. And then Kelly and I would go to bed. We would wake up in the middle of the night sweating to death. And we'd be like, oh my God, I would get cold rags. I don't know why I didn't look at the thermostat. Honestly, probably because I was waking up in the middle of the night. I'm like, where is everyone? But I can remember very vividly sweating to death and being like, oh my God, I'm so hot. And it was because those little brats would sabotage us at night. Well, this isn't a Dance Mom secret. This is a behind the scenes story. There was a time that we were in Las Vegas, and I do believe it was the time that Kelly had, oh gosh, that choreographer come in and choreograph for Brooke and Paige, because he was sitting in the lobby with us. So we were in Vegas. We were not at the Rumor Hotel. That was season 1. We were at a different hotel, like a tall hotel that had 5,000 floors, and there was a monsoon in Vegas. I didn't know there could be monsoons in Vegas. So we were sitting, just the two of us, in the restaurant in the lobby of the hotel. We were talking to the choreographer, and the girls had gone up because they needed to like take showers and stuff. So this monsoon comes through and all of the electricity goes out everywhere in Vegas. And Kelly and I are sitting there and we're like, we're on the 55th floor. We can't walk up all of these stairs. Literally, we can't walk up all these stairs. So we'll just sit here for a while. The electricity will come back on. The girls are fine. Like, they were a little bit older, so we're like, they're in the room, they're fine. So we sat there and they had the weirdest thing I have ever eaten in a restaurant. They had like a salt platter with these different pretzel sticks that you would dip the pretzel in butter, and then you would use that pretzel to dab different types of salt. Well, we ate, I think, 3 of those while we were sitting in the restaurant. Keep in mind, that's gonna come into play in a moment. So finally, no electricity was coming on. Kelly and I were like, we are going to have to walk up these stairs. And Kelly and I walked up, I think 55 flights of stairs. I still have such a visceral memory of walking up those stairs and having to sit down. Have you ever walked up 55 flights of stairs? It's a lot. So when we finally get to the top, it's pitch black because it's night now, and we go into Kelly's room. I don't even know how we got in because the key cards wouldn't have been working. I don't know. All I know is we went in the room and we heard the shower running and we did not see any kids. And we're like, where are the girls? So then we walked into the shower and Kelly went, Brooke? Well, all of a sudden, all 3 of them screamed at the top of their lungs and everyone fell out of the shower. They had put their swimsuits on because they were afraid to shower in the dark by themselves. So they had all put their swimsuits on and they were all in the shower together, like washing their hair and getting ready to go to bed. But they were afraid to shower. So they're like, okay, everybody get their swimsuits on. But when we came in, we scared them. So there was like wet, slippery children all over the bathroom floor. Okay, so back to the salt. The next day we were filming and we were standing in like the dressing room, and Brooke looked at Kelly and looked at her feet and she said, Mom, why do your feet look like that? And Kelly's like, what? And we looked down, Kelly's feet were like baking out of her shoes. She had like a strap on. There was like foot skin, like oozing out of her straps because she had retained so much water from eating all of that salt and then walking up 55 flights of stairs. Poor Kelly had to put her feet up. Like her feet were this big and she had to like, I don't know. I think I remember like helping to massage to get the fluid out of her foot. It was a moment. That's a friend. That's a friend. If you have a friend who will massage that fluid out of your feet, that's a friend. Okay, so let's see. Another secret. Did we really ride the bus? Yes, we really rode the bus. Now, this isn't really a Dance Mom secret, but I think it's a cute Jill story. We would be coming home Sunday night on the bus, and sometimes we were coming from like very, very far away. And Jill, we know Jill. Like, we know Jill. We know who Jill is as a human. And every single time we would be coming home at night on a Sunday at like 7 o'clock in the dark, we would be pulling up to the studio and Jill would be in the back of the bus putting on lip gloss. And we're like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, my husband's picking me up. I need to look nice for him. Kelly's like, I'm wearing an actual comforter from the hotel that I stole, and you're putting on lip gloss. Kelly didn't really steal a comforter, okay? Just public service announcement. That was a joke. That was Christy being funny. Well, I don't know. I don't know if those were really secrets or if those were just hot burning questions that you guys have always asked, but I hope you enjoyed this video. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a comment below. Let me know if I'm gonna see you on the 26th. And I will see you back here next week. Bye.